post condensation air cooler condenser. Then it has a capillary tube. Before capillary tube, there is a flow meter. Okay, then there are cooling coils which are inserted in a air handling unit. These are the cooling coils which are inserted in air handling cooling. So this is used for cooling and dehumidification or maybe for sensible cooling. But for heating, we require to have steam or some kind of heating process. So here there is a we have a cooker arrangement to make a steam. Okay, by using this cooker, we can make a steam, and which is passed through this, which is inserted into this air handling unit inside this in air handling unit. It is somewhere in air handling unit, and this is for the heating and humidification. For sensible heating, we have kept the heaters inside this cabin. So if you see from here, it is possible to see the heaters. See, there are heaters.
See, due to reflection, it is not possible to see the heater inside the duct.
Are placed. Okay, so this, and it has, along with this, there are the pressure gauges, suction pressure gauge, discharge pressure gauge, then HPLP cutouts, then we have energy meter. Okay, then this is main switch. Then this is switch for air handling unit, means this is switch for, this is switch for compressor, this is switch for heater, this is switch for humidifier. It means for the switch for the cooker. Then this is a temperature indicator. Okay, so all these tools are equipments are there placed into this system to perform various processes. But before going over there, let us understand what is air conditioning. So air conditioning is it is defined as a simultaneous control of temperature, humidity, quality of air, flow rate of air, likewise. So this is called as a air conditioning. Then what is psychometry? Psychometry is study of properties of moist air. It is study of properties of moist air. It's called as a psychometry. So what is the moist air? See, if you consider this our environment, it consists of many common gases. It consists of fumes, dust particles. So all is called as a atmospheric air. So if you filter out dust particles, pollutants, it becomes only permanent gases and water vapor. So this is called as a moist air. So treatment of this moist air, treatment of a study of these properties of moist air is called as a psychometry. Now, question comes out here. There are psychometric charts are there like this. This is psychometric chart. Okay, if you want to plot or any point on this chart, how do you plot this? How do you plot this? So question comes out, how many properties required to define any one point on this chart? If the substance is pure, then we require only two properties to define any point on this. But psychometric air or moist air is a mixture of two properties, two fluids. That is, one is air and another is water vapor. So how many properties are required to define any one point on this chart? Okay, so how could you define this? By using, you can define it by using a Gibbs phase rule. What is Gibbs phase rule? F plus P is equal to C plus 2. So F is a degree of freedom. It means number of properties required to define a point. P is a number of phases equal to C plus 2. C is a number of elements and plus 2 is a constant. So number of phases P is equal to 1 and number of elements are 2. So F plus 1 is equal to 2 plus 2 become 4. So F is equal to 4 minus 1 become 3. So we require three properties to define any one point on this psychometric chart. So how could we define which are those properties by which we can plot a point? It means which are the properties which can be measurable, like a temperature, like a pressure, like a velocity. So which thing you can measure easily? See, if you see here, this is the chart mentioned by pressure. Okay, it is, you can use this chart for this pressure, that is 760 mm of Hg or 1.013 bar. For this pressure you can use this chart. If your pressure going to be changed, then you have to use different pressure chart. So one property is fixed by the pressure. Okay, so for this pressure you can use this chart, and this is atmospheric pressure, that is 1.013 bar is atmospheric pressure. So one property is fixed. What is the second property which can be easily measurable? So dry bulb temperature, okay, which is measured by the ordinary thermometer, is called as a dry bulb temperature, which can be easily measurable. But what is the third property? Okay, how many properties of there? Psychometric air, moisture. There are like dry bulb temperature, wet bulb temperature. Wet bulb temperature comes later on. We will discuss this. So there is a dry bulb temperature, specific humidity, relative humidity, specific value, enthalpy. Okay, so there are various properties of psychometric air, moisture. So which are those properties can be easily measurable? So one is pressure, another is dry bulb temperature. But how could you measure enthalpy? How could you measure specific value? How could you measure uh, specific humidity? See, it is not possible to measure exactly. So what is that third property? Okay. So third property is set by the wet bulb temperature. So what is this wet bulb temperature? See, you take a long insulated shallow pool of duct. Okay, there is a insulated duct, and at the bottom of this duct there is a shallow pool of water. Okay, when air passes through this duct, the whatever water, shallow water is there, it will get evaporated into that air. Okay, so this is a process, and at the end of this process there is a thermometer placed. So assuming that this is an infinitely long insulated duct which has a shallow pool of water, and imagine that the air is flowing through this duct, and at the end you see that air is saturated. Why? Because as water air passes through the water, it gets evaporated. Okay, so part of heat is rejected into the air, and because of which there is a which can be easily measurable. But what is the third property? Okay, how many properties of there? Psychometric air, moisture. There are like dry bulb temperature, wet bulb temperature. Wet bulb temperature comes later on. We will discuss this. So there is a dry bulb temperature, specific humidity, relative humidity, specific value, enthalpy. Okay, so there are various properties of psychometric air, moisture. So which of those property can be easily measurable? So one is pressure, another is dry bulb temperature. But how could you measure enthalpy? How could you measure specific value? How could you measure uh, specific humidity? See, it is not possible to measure exactly. So what is that third property? Okay. So third property is set by the wet bulb temperature. So what is this wet bulb temperature? See, you take a long insulated shallow pool of duct. Okay, there is a insulated duct, and at the bottom of this duct there is a shallow pool of water. Okay, when air passes through this duct, the whatever water, shallow water is there, it will get evaporated into that air. Okay, so this is a process, and at the end of this process there is a thermometer placed. So assuming that this is an infinitely long insulated duct which has a shallow pool of water, and imagine that the air is flowing through this duct, and at the end you see that air is saturated. Why? Because as the air passes through the water, it gets evaporated. Okay, so part of heat is rejected into the air, and because of which there is a drop in temperature of air, as well as there is drop in temperature of air. So at the end of this cycle, is called as the adiabatic saturated temperature. It means that whatever air we have at the end, air is saturated. What is meant by saturated? See, if you take a glass of water and if you add a sugar into this, if you stir, it becomes sweet. Once again, if you add and stir, it will again add some sugar into this. But after 3-4 times, if you go to add, it will not dissolve into that. So it means that this water has been saturated by the sugar. Some limit of adding of water vapor into the air, so that limit is called as a saturated air. So if you see that there is a long centrifugal duct, when air passes through this, it becomes saturated at the end. And at that time, it has some temperature which is same like a water. So there is a temperature of water and temperature of air is same. And that temperature is called as a wet bulb temperature. Okay. And this equipment is called as a adiabatic saturated. So this is the third property that is called as a wet bulb temperature. But if you see this equipment is very sturdy one and it is not possible to use as it is. So because of which there is some little change in construction has been done. So there is we have the psychrometer. What is psychrometer? This is the dry bulb temperature thermometer. Dry bulb temperature thermometer. At the bottom it is bare. This bulb is bare, but on this side it is a wet bulb temperature thermometer. At the bottom it is kept in some kind of cotton which is wet. Okay, so we have added some water over here, so because of which there is some drop in temperature. So what we have done here, we have done this process adiabatic saturator in a very short way. That is, we have put a wet cloth on the at the bulb of this thermometer. So okay, so if you measure the temperature of this thermometer and this thermometer, it is difference. Why there is a difference? Because air is not saturated. Okay, so this is the way by which we can measure the wet bulb temperature. It is the same process like a adiabatic saturated. Okay, so we have done some little change in construction to measure easily this wet bulb temperature. What is done here? We have put a wet cloth at the bottom of this dry bulb thermometer. Okay, and by which we can measure the temperature that is called as a wet bulb temperature. So we have got, okay, how to measure this? First of all, keep this cloth wet, okay, and add some water here. We have the can here which will add some water here. By using it is like this. We can add here water. We can add here water, and which is circulated through this cotton. Okay, so for measuring the temperature, dry bulb temperature, wet bulb temperature, this is called as a sling psychrometer. You have to revolve this by some kind of velocity. Let us say 2 to 8 meter per second velocity. You have to revolve it, and after revolving, after some time, you can measure the temperature, dry bulb temperature. Now it is showing as a 23 degrees Celsius as a dry bulb temperature and 21 degrees Celsius as a wet bulb temperature. So we have fixed the first one is the pressure, second one is the dry bulb temperature, and third one is the wet bulb temperature. Once you got this, any one point here, let us say this point. So you have the temperature, you have the pressure. For example, this is pressure is 1.013 bar, and let us say temperature 25 degrees Celsius, and wet bulb temperature 20 degrees Celsius. So you will get somewhere here as a point where the air is existed now. Okay. Now we have to perform various psychrometric processes, that is sensible cooling, sensible heating, then humidification, dehumidification. Okay, so these are the 4 basic processes that should occur at their own. But if you see that dehumidification, it will not happen at its own. It will always associate with the cooling and humidification, or cooling and dehumidification. Similarly, heating and humidification, heating and dehumidification. So likewise, it is combined process. So combined total 8 processes, and 9 processes mixing up 2 airs, 2 different air. If you mix together, that is also 9 processes. So if we perform here sensible heating, what is the path? So if you take this point, and if there is a sensible heating, then it will move towards the right side, because as temperature, if you see the bottom of this chart, okay, this chart is bounded by the dry bulb temperature at the abscissa and specific humidity at the ordinate. On the left side, it is bounded by the saturation line. Okay, it has vertical dry bulb temperature lines, it has horizontal specific humidity lines, it has inclined enthalpy lines, as well as wet bulb temperature lines. Okay, and there are these curve lines are specific volume lines. These curve lines are specific volume lines. Okay, so as we move towards the right side, there is a increase in temperature. As we move towards the left side, there is an increase in temperature. As we move towards the upward direction, there is
a decrease in temperature. There is a mistake. As you move from right to left, there is a decrease in temperature.
Increase in humidity. As if you see the humidity, it is 0.002 kg per kg of dry air. Okay, so if you see the its unit, it is a kg per kg of dry air. Okay, so as we move towards the upward direction, there is an increase in humidity. As we move towards the bottom, there is a decreasing humidity. So for sensible heating, assuming this point is a existing point of air, existing condition of air, and if you move towards the right side, there is a sensible heating. If you move towards the left side, there is a sensible cooling. If you move towards the downward side, there is a dehumidification. If you move towards the upward direction, there is a humidification. Now these are the basic process. But along with this, we know that sensible cooling will not happen exactly at its own. There is always sensible cooling and dehumidification always associated. Similarly, humidification. In case of humidification, if you add steam into the air, there is an increasing humidity as well as increasing temperature. So similarly, if you want to do the dehumidification, it is always associated with some kind of heating or cooling. Okay, so humidification does not occur at its own. It is always associated with the cooling or heating. So let us see this process. For this point, if you move towards into this direction, corner of this chart, if you go towards the corner of the chart, it will perform cooling, heating and dehumidification process. Heating and dehumidification. So whenever there is a dehumidification, there is always heating. Then process, if you perform this process towards the top right corner into this direction or any direction of this, you will see that there is a heating and humidification, cooling and humidification. If you go into this direction, you will going to perform cooling and dehumidification. So there are 8 processes. Okay, and there is also 9 process. Suppose you have the air of this condition, and both having the same pressure. Then if you combine together, in that case you have to join this line, and on this line of mixed air will exit. So this is also one kind of process. So like this, there are total 9 processes, and out of which some of the process we are going to perform here. That is a sensible heating, heating and humidification, then cooling and dehumidification. Okay, so these are the 3 processes we will perform here. So to make this system on, how do you perform this process, sensible heating? See, first of all, you have to make this switch on, then you have to make air handling unit on. Okay, then because of which there is a fan going to be run. Okay, so now system air handling unit has been on. Now if you want to do sensible heating, then you have to make the heater on. So we have seen heater over here. Okay, we have seen the heater over here. Then for this we have to make heater on. Now if the heater is on, air handling unit is on, heater is on. Okay, and air is going to pass through this channel. Because of which there is a sensible heating. Okay. So once you complete this process after 10 to 15 minutes, you can switch off this heater. Then for heating and humidification, make this humidifier on. Now this steam is going to be generated. Allow some 5 to 7 minutes to generate the steam. Once the steam is going to be generated, you will see on this pipe there is some kind of steams will be there. It will go to the duct, okay, and it is inserted somewhere there. So this is called as this is a process of heating. So after 10 to 15 minutes, perform this setup. Okay, so what is the perform? Once you make this humidifier on, measure the dry bulb temperature, wet bulb temperature of the air at the exit of this channel, exit of this duct or exit of air handling unit. So that is exit condition. But what is at inlet? So you can measure this Tribal temperature, wet bulb temperature. At this location, any location of any environment, do the some revolution of this and measure the tribal temperature, wet bulb temperature, which you observe by naked air. Okay, so this is inlet condition, this is exit condition. So whatever we get here, that is exit condition of the air, and whatever we inlet here, that is measured by the psychrometer. It is inlet condition. Okay, so
We can also use a psychrometer at the exit condition to measure the wet bulb and dry bulb temperature.
for heating also, we have to measure the temperature of dry bulb temperature, wet bulb temperature, inlet and exit. Similarly, for humidifier or heating and humidification, we have to perform this process. So this is the process of heating and humidification. For cooling and humidification, we have to make the compressor on. Okay, so if you see here, compressor has been on. Allow some time. After the 5 to 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, you have to measure the temperature of air at inlet and at outlet. Wet bulb temperature, dry bulb temperature at inlet and outlet. Pressure element and constant pressure, that is 1.013 bar. So by using these properties, you can fix any 2 points at inlet and exit and plot the cycle. Okay. So whatever we data get from the sensible heating, we have got some inlet temperature and some outlet temperature. That is dry bulb temperature, wet bulb temperature. Marks 2 points. Okay. And draw the line. That is your process happen on psychrometric chart. Okay. So likewise, you are going to perform 3 processes. And one more data is required. Is the quantity of air. How much is the air going to flow? So this is measured by the manometer. Okay. This is measured by the manometer. So before okay, I will make this off. So if we see here manometer, it is a 0 to 2. Okay. So it is assuming that 2 centimeter is the length from this side. Okay. Before making on, that is atmospheric condition. So when you make this on, here only you see that there is a rise in level of this liquid manometer. There is a rise in liquid level of this manometer.